the trap of ET, and then she springs the box of Vietnam and psychological trauma upon the children.
All right, just now started streaming, so first things we need to go over is this is obviously similar to the Supernatural and the Buffy game. This is experimental, so not everything is going to be perfect as we go into it. Oh, let me go find a link for the YouTubes. Um, because it deals with animals and I'm not like an animal expert, so there's probably going to be first a lot things of we need to go guessing as far as stuff like that, as far as what an animal can do and everything. Like I know some of it because I read the books, but and I when I was reading the books, I was very into animals at that time, so I did some research. But I'm not an animal person, so I don't know or care about a lot of it. Um, Go ahead and my speaker, please turn your mic down. Yeah, everyone's volume is going to be probably different. Like mine's at 60% for the master volume.
No, it was for Peck.
Let me check what I have. Because sometimes I have to
Yeah,
turn her
because
up, sometimes I have to turn her down.
no, it wasn't you. It was Peck. It was
Yeah,
like really, really, really loud. I had to like basically jump to my phone to try to turn it down.
dang. Yeah, and I want everyone to be at roughly, the same level of volume. And I don't know. I don't think if I mess with people's volume, I think it only does it for me. I don't think it does it for everybody. Um, but I have everyone at different levels because everyone's software and hardware is different. So, um,
True.
but anyway, so that all that being said, as far as like the experimentality of it, please be patient. This will probably be a multi-parter because I have 16 chapters that I've written, um, and a normal Star Trek game is like three. So part one is basically I'm gonna try to get through like 6 to 8 chapters. I'm gonna try to get like halfway through it. But if we don't, then I'm gonna do it again tomorrow, and then after that it'll be like I think 2 weeks from then. Um, Let me just look at the calendar. Yeah, it'll be on the third. After that, will be the part three, and that it should be finished by then. Um, All right, so let's see what else. So there's going to be a lot of. So since some of you are on Roll20, I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to your specific user interfaces. Uh, Marco, where's Marco's? There it is. So you will pop up on a user interface page where it basically looks like kind of like a computer or a video game. Um, and let me find Mac. There it is. And I will just move all. Well, no, I won't move all players to mine. I'll just because I don't want everyone to see mine. But as you can see, there are some stuff there. Some stuff I added late, as you can see, like for example the boon or the benefit for your archetype. I added that after I completely forgot about it. And let's see. So it's got your name, got your character name, got your species, your age, what you are. So connection. We are all gonna need to have connections. Ben or Tali, your character Ben, your connection is going to be Eli, my character, the resource officer, because your character, by definition, is a loner, which means you're not going to have a connection with the other students. Um,
Right.
so everyone else, you guys need to figure out who's friends and who's not. Since none of the other characters are loners, there's no option of not having a connection. You all need to figure out who your connection is, and it does have to be a player similar to none of you. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm the class clown. So if anyone wants to be friends with the class clown, you can go right ahead.
Yeah.
I offer you my boy.
Okay, so Marco and
Yep.
Alex can be connections, and you guys can put that in your character sheet, or I believe I'm not 100% sure, but you should be able to type it on the screen. Maybe not. I know I was when I was doing the Twilight 2000 game as a player. I was able to type stuff. So if you want to type it in there, you can. Um, to the right of all that, you'll see your morphs, and not you're not. It's not just like, for example, your battle morph and your other morphs. You're not just gonna have one of each. Like you can have multiple birds, multiple battle morphs, multiple um, water morphs, etc. It's just a matter of what you're gonna be able to acquire, what morphs you're gonna be able to get. You have to be able to touch the animal to get it. So it's just a matter of touching the animal to get it, and then you can. In between games, we can update the morphs image so that it resembles what you actually have. But until then, you want to keep track of what you get. Whether you want to do that like I do on notebooks or on in your character sheet on Roll20, either way. Your picture is there, where it says milestones. Everyone is gonna start with a milestone, and unlike Star Trek, it's just a milestone. There's not a normal milestone versus Spotlight versus Arc. Milestones are kind of, well, we'll get into what they do later and what they are, but basically the mechanics are they're going to act similar to the Star Trek ones, where you're going to be able to like buy talents or trade out focuses and all that good stuff. Momentum, everyone should have none right now. If you go to the right the right, a little bit to the right, but to the bottom, you'll see where it says values and determination. Everyone has one determination token. Should look like a picture of a half-morphed Rachel turning into a lion. Similar to Star Trek, determination is going to be the same kind of thing. You have your values in your character sheet. If you don't have values, because I know some of you weren't able to think of any, then go ahead and think of them as the game is progressing. You don't have to stop anything or interrupt anything or wait till the game is over or anything like that. Just go ahead and be thinking about them as the game is progressing. I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to need at least one value to use your determination. Unlike Star Trek, I am not going to so Star Trek is more about living in that universe, in that world of the utopia. This is more of a dystopia where you're going to be actively being tried to be. The enemy is actively trying to catch and kill you, so you need to you're going to be using determination every game probably. Speaking of trying to catch you, discovery and reputation. Reputation is only bad in this game. You do not want reputation because you're trying to be secret. I'm going to call it discovery, but basically discovery is the rate at which the enemy is able to discover you, aka your reputation. Because even if humans like you, oh, they're heroes, that means that the enemy knows you and they will eliminate everyone around you just to get to you. So everyone's going to start, if I remember correctly, everyone starts with 1, and that's just because you're in the where you're going to be, the location is going to be active with aliens, so they kind of have an idea of oh, there's students here. Everyone starts with 1 trauma. That's just so that once starts happening, I don't have to actually give it to you. You already start with it because you're going to get it. Trauma is going to... We'll get into what that is and how that acts and what the mechanics of that is in later on. You shouldn't get more than 3 per game, but if you go over 10, you pretty much are permanently out of the game. Your character is permanently out of the game. Either your character is dead, the character runs away and doesn't come back, or your character is just so traumatized that they're in an asylum. Your character's out of the game at 10. If you somehow get to 12, 13, 14, 15 or more, then in one sitting, then yeah, basically that's suicide, literal suicide. Serendipity is going to be what the gods, or if you want to call it the GM, although there is an in-game GM, so to speak, but we'll get into that later. Serendipity is basically similar to momentum. It's what I'll be giving you to get out of trouble if you really need to get out of trouble. Everyone should start with 1 because you're in the game, but you can get serendipity in similar ways to getting momentum. You can't use serendipity the same way you can use momentum. It's basically well, actually there's a handout for uses for serendipity. You can look at that as we go on, but basically it's more powerful than momentum. Ambition is basically what your characters want to do. Like my character, for example, is a resource officer. He's a rookie. He's already obtained one of his ambition, which is to become a police officer. So he's halfway to his next one, which is he wants to become a good, decent cop. Like not just a rookie who's, you know, who's learning the ropes, but actually someone who can teach other cops and someone who actually knows a lot about being a cop and protecting people and stuff like that. So, and the further along you get in your ambition, so ambition isn't like the other stuff where it's like you have to get to a certain level. It's because you're going to be changing your ambition. So for example, if one of your ambition is to graduate high school, then an alien invasion happens, maybe your ambition changes from, okay, I don't care about graduating high school, now I just want to survive. So you would change your ambition, but you would still keep the same amount of points, because it's not about the points. It's basically just tells you what your there was something in the Starforged game, the Ironsworn Starforged game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's similar to that, where it's like your background goal, if that makes any sense. So it's not about points; it's more about like what you've achieved. It doesn't really go away. In other words, plot points is your HP. Everyone starts out with, I think, either 6 or 8. Can't remember, but the plot points is basically just like, you know, similar to Supernatural and Buffy. If you jump into trouble without thinking, you're probably going to lose half your plot points, and that's before you take the 10 damage that you know, a monster is going to give you. So you don't want to run into danger just willy-nilly unless you definitely don't care about living. Plot points can also be used for things, uses for plot points. Some of them are scratched out because I moved it to the serendipity, but a lot of it can be used for similar things as momentum and serendipity and things like that. Your focuses are there. I made talent cards for everybody, so you should have talent cards that tell you what everything that you can do is. And let's see what else. That might be it for now. Oh yeah, the trauma points handout as well as the ambition is there. Oh, regarding the ambition, once you get to like a certain amount, you can spend it. You can spend the ambition for other things. So it can go away, but it's not like milestones or momentum or plot points where it's like all it is just to get you out of trouble. It's more like, oh, you've done well, now you can have these rewards kind of thing, similar to reputation and milestones in Star Trek, I guess. You might also notice, and I don't know if you guys can see it, actually I'll make it so you can see it just in case. Randomizer, yeah, there is a random card dealer. Don't click on that. That's not something you can just click on and get, like, you know, because half of it is bad stuff that can randomly happen and half of it is good stuff. Actually, I think a little more than half is bad stuff. Most of it is probably bad stuff. So that's something that, like, if you're desperate, you're gonna be like, hey GM or narrator, storyteller, whatever you want to call me, hey, can I get one of those random cards? It could be bad, but I'm in a horrible situation, and some of them are like, you know, serendipity and things like that where it could get me out of it. Or if I say, you know what, you guys are in a crazy situation, you've got a lot of discovery, there's a lot of aliens around you, go ahead and click on one of those. It might be good, it might help you out, or it might be horrible. Maybe the boss of the aliens shows up all of a sudden and kills you. Like, it could be anything. Let me just look through my notes. So far, if anyone has any questions, this is the time to ask them.
Not the moment.
Okay. Attributes, so how to morph when we get to it eventually. It's going to be based on whatever your archetype is. Speaking of which, I need to find the notebook that I... Yeah, there's... So for warrior, you know, it's daring. Loner, it's control. Bleeding heart is insight. Nerd is reason. Clown is presence. And leader is control or presence, which is my character. And if you're an alien, it's fitness, but we don't have any aliens yet. The discipline to morph is going to depend on what the morph is. A battle morph is security. If it's a flight morph, it's going to be con. And if it's a humanoid morph, it's command but like, or alien or anything sentient, it's command. I haven't decided what the swimming or the stealth or bug morphs should be. Probably science or medicine or something like that. But if we get to it, then we'll make that. I'll make that call. Like I said, this is all experimental. There will be increasing levels of difficulty. So, for example, to grab a cat is going to be easy. You know, to grab your own pet cat is going to be easier than like trying to touch a lion that's hungry or something like that. Every single time you try to morph, it's going to take 4 different rolls to do that. In the books, it takes them like 5 minutes. It's not just a swoop, oh, I'm a werewolf now, or I'm a wolf now, or I'm an animal now. It's like it is in the TV show. It's like, okay, it's an actual process, like a horrifying process that takes like between 3 and 5 minutes, and even the best morphers, it takes, you know, minimum 2 minutes. So it's going to at least take 4 different task rolls to get through it, and they're going to be different things, and we'll get to that when you guys actually get to that point. Oh yeah, so mentioning personal details about your character, bad idea. So only mention your guys' first name. Assume that the enemy is listening, because in the books and in this game, they are. They know what you're. Consider this kind of like a chronicle. Like after the battle and after all these missions happen, somebody sits down and writes it out and says, okay, this is what happened, and it could be read, you know, the next day, a week from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. But it could also be read by an enemy. It could be read by an ally. So assume whatever is being said, whatever is being done, is being observed in the future. So like if you say your character's last name, then basically assume the YouTube audience is the enemy, and that they will find you if you say your last name. Don't mention your character's address, your hometown, your school. None of that is. If it's mentioned, you get a bunch of discovery, and bad things happen in game. Any other questions while I look through my notes?
Cursed idea.
Yeah.
We're only limited to the ones currently extant, right?
You talking about like dinosaurs and stuff?
Yes.
Touched a fucking skull of a saber-toothed tiger.
Look, that happens in the books,
Listen.
and I will get to that. Like, I have made a plan where you guys go back in time and get dinosaurs and stuff. Okay, I'm
Hold
just
on,
gonna
hold
put
on.
that out there.
Can I explain medically why it wouldn't work to go to a museum and touch a T-Rex skeleton?
I mean, I assume there's not enough DNA to actually acquire.
Due to mineralization, the DNA is gone.
Gotcha.
The thing is,
But there are only
Ice Age era ones are still there.
yeah, but we'd have to go to Siberia for that.
Like I said, I have plans for that in the future, so don't worry about that. You guys will be able to do that eventually. So the minor actions, similar in Star Trek. You can aim, you can move, you can prepare, you can drop prone or stand, you can draw weapons, you can interact with things. Starting a morph, finishing a morph, all 4 of those tasks is a full task. It's a full action. So you can aim with a weapon while you're trying to morph if you want, but you can't, you know, try to morph while also like taking a shot or something like that. Like you've got to pick one. Like I said, experimental. I had to make sacrifices because even though some things make sense and other things don't, I just had to stick with the mechanics of basically 2D20 and Star Trek Adventures. Let's see. I've already told you guys about the skill tree. You probably can't see it very well, but that's the skill tree, so it is actually there. I'm not just bullshitting you guys. You guys will get different talents and skills as you level up, quote unquote. I think that's it for this notebook. I have 3 notebooks open right now, so I don't think I need any of this. This is the actual story. Alright, so did we put the link in? I don't remember if we put the link. Yeah, we did. So does anybody have any questions as of right now?
At the moment.
Nope.
Okay, there is one additional thing.
Nope.
There is something called a focus trait. This is to keep everybody in a more role play centric mindset, because we often, and especially in Star Trek, we see a task and we do it and we forget about all the role play and all the character development. The focus trait basically tells you like where your character's mindset should be at any given time, and it can change and it can fluctuate and it can go back and forth and all this other stuff. But the focus trait for the once the game starts, and pretty much throughout most of the entire first part, if not the whole book, it should be, the focus trait is everything is fine and normal, because that you guys, I want everyone to be in the mindset that they were when they were teenagers. You know, the worst thing you guys had to worry about, or I should say we, because we've all been there, but the worst thing we ever had to worry about was, you know, home life, homework, boy and girl trouble, you know, medical issues, like normal human stuff. And
Things that neurotypicals always focus on, imagine.
Yep. Okay, I got it. Turn the volume up a bit. So that is the whole point of it, is that your characters are going to be in like a normalcy, like you guys are like, okay, shit's happening, but no, it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are, your characters are 15, 16-year-olds, so when you see stuff, it's not just like, oh, that's what that, you know, like in the movies, you see a zombie and you're like, oh, obviously they should know it's a zombie. But like, they don't know that, because in their world, zombies aren't a thing. So in this world, everything is normal. Everything is basically as you see it today. I will tell you, you can start out knowing that there are rumors. I'm just like in real life, in the real world, there are rumors and there is gossip and there is, you know, maybe secret documents or whatever saying alien life exists. Alien life is on Earth. Alien life visited Earth. You know, there are things that go bump in the night and all that good stuff, but nobody really takes it seriously. I mean, it's been 20 years since the events of the books, and a lot of crazy shit happened back then. But also 20 years ago, you know, we had a lot of shit happen in our country, in America, that all of a sudden everyone has forgotten about. So it, you know, it's not beyond reason to assume that the history books were written by the winners, so to speak, because it happens all the time. And your guys' characters were born like 5 years after those events, so if nobody told you about them, all you would know about is like the rumors and things like that. Now, for Josie's character especially, but pretty much anyone, if you do know about the books, and like if your character has a reason to know that things like that happened, then you can be like, you know, oh, here's a reason, because, you know, my dad is a podcaster who talks about aliens, or my dad's a secret agent in the FBI, and like, so they would know about that and they would have told me. That's fine, but like, you wouldn't probably know about the specifics of those events and stuff like that. Now, let's see. It is 20.
No, like, my character knows the name Yerk, but thinks that doesn't know about the whole process. She thinks that people were collaborators and they were just being blackmailed and doing horrible shit.
So it was okay. Let's see. So I've got to go for like 10 minutes. So while I'm gone, and like I said, this is going to be very session zero for like the first 30 minutes. But while I'm gone, please decide what kind of connections. Those of you who haven't already decided on your connections, like I said, every player needs another player connection, and Tali's character is out of, you know. So there's only like 3 of you at the moment, so it should be relatively easy to figure out. Let's see. Don't care. I will also go ahead and tell you, so that you can get in the mindset of it, that your characters are going on a field trip. It's Thursday afternoon, and you guys have been driving on a charter bus for like 2 hours, and so you guys are, you know, whatever you guys would have done when you were 15, 16 years old on a bus after driving for 2 hours, probably sleeping, or, you know, but whatever you guys want to do, just think about what you guys want to do while you're on this bus going out to a national forest. Your goal is to be going to a forest station, which has, conveniently enough, an animal clinic next to it. So you will definitely be seeing some animals. But yeah, go ahead and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Just develop your connections, you know, because I will remember, or I will remind back that Kenneth, your older brother, is on the bus with you. Also, Durlock's not here, but if he shows up while I'm gone, his dad Bob is the bus driver. And Nostra, Marco, your father, Sergeant Gabriel, the K9 police officer, is driving behind you in his SUV on this road. So he's like one of the chaperones. Officer Eli, obviously another chaperone. And then you guys have Miss Walters, who is your science teacher. Altogether, with the NPCs, there is 10 students on the bus, and altogether there are 4 adults. So you guys figure out your mindset and your kind of connections and all that good stuff, and I will be back in about 10 minutes.
It works out perfectly, Nostra, because my character's dad is a cop as well.
Cop.
Of the show. Yeah.
Deb is a budding juvenile delinquent.
Yep.
Alright, that makes sense. Like, you were told explicitly, hey, just stay away from Deb. She talks about, like, how she doesn't trust the federal government. Her dad might be collecting ammunition. Just stay the fuck away from her.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him. I just want to talk to him.
pretty much that meme, like, I just want to talk to them, and while she's loading a gun.
Yeah.
Alright, do we have this squared away?
Like, all of us have connections because we probably all went to the same school.
We all went to the same school, but, like, you two know each other because your dads are in the same police department, and then you guys look at me and they're like, oh, fuck, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marco's the one who broke out of a special ed place because he just couldn't handle being surrounded by, you know, the whole special ed thing. Because special ed is kind of a really fucked up place, just saying.
Right. I need to go take care of something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, basically, my character's dad is like a deputy with the sheriff's department.
While his dad is like actually like one of the only few canine units in the fucking town, I bet.
Yeah. And his mom is like a business owner, so she's gone half the time. She's technically not gone half the time, she just travels to the big city when she needs to for business. But she prefers to stay in a... Yeah.
Mark's mom is basically a fucking investment banker. Basically, the stock market is his mom's bitch.
Yeah. Basically, his mom works, has a big international, has a big corporation.
Economic.
Yeah. She owns a business company that is booming right now.
Well, for me, being a loner, I guess my family. I did talk to the GM about it, but like I don't know if he remembers or not. But my family like runs an animal rescue, and me being a loner, it's just like I just sit outside pretty much all the time. I have an addiction to cigarettes, so that's something to look forward to, I suppose. Yeah, I'll just I just watch people and make sure nothing really bad happens, I suppose.
He also has a hobby of dirt biking and playing video games in his spare time.
He just sometimes vibes with his snake while reading extremely controversial books out of pure boredom.
Yeah.
He has a white snake.
Basically, you wouldn't...
white snake.
Yeah. Yeah. I would suspect that you have a white snake. Probably seen it like a bunch of times. And I know not to poke at the glass.
If they're a constrictor. Or a viper.
Yeah.
Actually, especially if they're a viper.
Yeah. And it is good because you can easily feed it rats or mice when they
Try to invade
try
the
to
home.
yeah.
Oh, sneaky.
And you just pick him up by the tail and you just go, "Here's my snake," and just put him in the tank.
What about a free roaming snake?
Yep. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, so my character will probably have like all the newest consoles. Sitting there with all the newest consoles, plus a computer.
My guy's mostly just gonna be a PC fellow. Besides, it's very easy to start modding the ever-living shit out of it, especially if you have a PC.
Yeah. And also he
Literally plays Fallout New Vegas on a semi-religious basis.
has a cat.
Hmm?
And he has a cat. A little kitten.
Yours?
Yeah, a character has a little kitten
Oh, that's
at home.
ironic because got a kitty. Both hate fucking mice. Both hate mice.
Yeah. Yeah, his parents needed. I don't know. He said he'll be gone for 10 minutes.
That might be other D&D thing that's starting in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's gonna be complicated.
Yep. I could totally see your character having that.
Just casually have a snake with him at all times and just say, no, it's a registered therapy animal. Don't touch him.
My character would just go, yeah, I'm not even attempting to go and tell him to take it home. My character is like, yeah, if he loses it, then it's his own fault. We're still here.
Oh, sweet.
He hasn't came back yet. He hasn't came back yet.
Oh, no, I set my timer exactly at 10 minutes when he said 10 minutes, so we got... Oh, speak of the devil. You beat
Yeah.
by 30 seconds.
Alright, so
So for Mac and Marco, they've come to the conclusion that since they're both the kids of law enforcement, they know each other. And since Deb is a budding juvenile delinquent, practically like, fuck the establishment! They're lying to us!
We live as a society.
Well, you gotta at least know one of them. Like, you don't have to be best friends with them, but you have to at least, like,
Aware of each other.
so obviously in the books, Tobias is the loner. He still knows who they are. They all still know who he is. But Jake was kind of the one that took him under his wing, etc., etc., etc.
Irony.
Yeah, the only reason the other four knew each other was because they basically all knew Jake. So basically, the way it was explained to me earlier is that Mac's character, Alex, being the class clown, is the one who kind of knows everybody. So that's the Jake, basically. So if
Yeah.
it would make sense to me, you don't have to say, like I said, they don't have to be best friends, but like if your character at least had some kind of interaction with Mac's character, it would make more sense than just being another loner. Essentially, is what it sounds like. So does that make sense? Unless you want to just lean into the bully and just be bullying one of these characters. But the reason why we have to have connections is because, like I said, for the books, it just made sense that they all somehow knew each other, other than the fact that they were just in the same period, in the same class. Um, You can come up with how you know them, but it's got to be something. It can't just be like, we're in the same class. I know them out of the corner of my eye kind of thing. It's got to be something more substantial than that. Like I said, you can come up with whatever you want,
Yeah.
but it's got to be something. Because this may have not, you guys may not have picked up on this, but there's only um, between 5 and 6 players, and there are 10 students. So if nobody matters to your character, then why would your character give a shit about what happens to those students? Does that make any sense? So in other words, not everyone's
Yes.
getting out of this alive. So
Yes, this is the inverse of the Ren situation for the Legion.
sure.
Yeah. Basically,
If you want, although
my character would.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
My character would go up and say hello to you and at least have a chat with you because he would notice that you're being a loner. And he doesn't like people feeling like they're by themselves. Except the loner himself in the corner over there.
Well,
Tolly,
what I was gonna
character.
say, also, if you want, and obviously I don't prefer this, but if you want, we can say that maybe Officer Eli had to say something a couple times to Josie for maybe not being an outright bully to somebody, but maybe just doing something that was um, borderline mean or something. I don't know,
No,
but
you can flat out say, like, hey, listen, I'm going to arrest you for a terroristic threat if you don't shut the fuck up.
sure, we could say it was like something like that. But either way, it's got to be one of us. So just put a name in the connection section. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream just so I have 2 different streams going up. I will post. I'm actually gonna once I do that, I'm gonna change it to 0, session 0. But just so we can start the session proper with. Oh, that's the other thing I meant to say. So because of how I've told you guys how this is going to go, if at any point you guys feel like, you know what, it's a little bit too railroady because it is based on a book, just let me know, and and so I'm going to try to keep it past tense as possible. My character did this, my character did that. And if you guys want to do that, great. But if you guys think it's too restricting, just let me know, and we'll go back to traditional RPG stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream and then restart it.